Welcome to episode 35 of Curious Conversations. We're back where it all began. We're back in
the
our
dungeon.
spot in the dungeon, the cupboard in Sin. We are going to run over a couple of things today. Main things being the Great Scottish Run that we have just done, and also some post-event blues. We're just off the back of Oslo, and we're just off the back of the Great Scottish Run, two big events that we've been really looking forward to. And we want to chat about the feelings after and like the kind of dip you get after something that you've been working so hard towards, and what comes with that, and how to almost switch out of it as well. So let's chat about the Great Scottish Run.
Let's chat about that shit, bro. It was sick. It was class. Always loved the Great Scottish Run. It was actually my first ever running race, and it never disappoints. And this was a great one. I think that I was a bit sceptical on what I was going to do, what pace I was going to be able to set out at, obviously because we had Oslo the week before, and I just wasn't sure, to be honest. I wasn't sure how it was going to go, so we kind of I made the decision to we'll just set out together, and see where we kind of land from there. I found the race good at the start. Felt like I was just settling into it. When I started to, I don't know about you, but when it started to get a little bit more challenging for me is when we were going into Pollock Park.
Yeah.
Don't know about you, but what about
you? I was like in Pollock Park when I started to feel it more.
See, when we were going up that hill, I was like, right, okay, it's time to lock in here. And yeah, at the halfway mark, I started to kick on a wee bit more, tried to see what I could do. I was feeling kind of good. At the start of the race, my stomach was a wee bit fucked. So that kind of wore off by the time I got to halfway. Started to push on a wee bit more, and at the end I was slogging. Like, I was holding on. I was about 2k out, and I genuinely thought I was going to need to stop.
Really?
And I never feel like that. Genuinely never feel like that. And obviously I didn't stop, but I felt like I was so close to. And always that 200-metre sprint to the finish line is excruciatingly painful. So I had to regroup and take a good 3 minutes or something like that, 3 to 5 minutes to make sure I didn't faint at the finish line, because that would have been pretty embarrassing. But yeah, and all in all, like the race for me went good. I got a PB, probably I think it was like 30 seconds. That I PB'd 30 to 40 or something like that. And I'm happy with it considering everything that we've done before. And yeah, it was good. How about you?
Yeah, great day as well. I love the Great Scottish Run. I'm also the same, that my first running race was the Great Scottish Run the year before. And yeah, I had a great run. Started off, felt really good at the start as well. Felt really good up until about Pollock Park. And it was during Pollock Park where I was starting to feel, this is going to get hard here, because the terrain changes a little bit from flat pretty much the whole time. There was a little bit of up and downs with Kingston Bridge and stuff, but it goes from that to like slight inclines and slight declines, so it just throws you off a little bit in terms of paces and stuff. So from then I started feeling it a little bit to getting out of Pollock Park. So that's about 12k in, maybe?
Yeah.
12k in. So that bit, I started feeling it after Pollock Park, like running towards Paisley Road West. And that's when you took off. Like we were with each other till probably about maybe 7k out or something, 8k out. Then Aiden took off a little bit further and I was hurting. But then probably about 5k out, I kind of found a second wind and pushed on a little bit more. But I was going through kind of waves of feeling good and not feeling good, which I think is important to talk about during a run, because it's like you'll get so in your head at points during a long run, like a half marathon, where it's like, oh my god, I'm in a lot of pain right now. I've still got 20k to go.
Aye.
I've still got 15k to go, 10k to go, whatever, and you think you're going to be in that pain for that point, but usually your body, even still holding the same pace, your body just kind of finds its way into it, and flows into it a little bit more. So it's a it's an interesting lesson to learn and what I took from it.
That's what I'm like learning so much right now. Like you don't understand how mental like races are, whether that's a high rocks or a running race. I've like in really kind of close like succession, I've needed to really dig deep mentally in races. Whether that was the pro race that we done in Oslo, the open race massively, and really I had to really jack myself up for the relay as well, because I was in a world of pain with like a stitch that I had from the other races, and I kind of just held on to that, and also my foot was louping because I had the biggest blister on it. So I really had to chime into like a certain point of my mental that I didn't really need to for the pro race, because I was just so buzzing for it and so excited for it, and I had no issues. And again, with the Great Scottish Run, where we're going to come into it a little bit with the post-event blues, but that week after Oslo, I found it quite challenging to find my feet back of like motivation and like eating correctly. It's so easy to overindulge when when you've had such a great time, because you're just, for me anyway, I'm someone who chases that feeling so much once I've had it, and it's really hard to get back to centre. But that's why it took a lot for me to get mentally there with the half marathon. But when you're in it, I feel like I do good in like kind of breaking through the points where you're questioning yourself or you're doubting yourself.
Yeah.
When I'm really in that cave of like that pain cave, I feel like 9 times out of 10 I'll break through it and I'll get past it.
Yeah. What do you say to yourself in the moment when you're in that pain cave?
So here's a great way to think about it for anyone that does race. Like, you'll get a lot of people that will speak positively to themselves, which is what you want to do, but there's a certain way of doing it. So don't speak to yourself and say to yourself, I can do this. I will be able to complete this. I will do well in this. Speak to yourself the way you would maybe speak to someone else. So you can do this, Aiden. You're strong enough to do this, Aiden. And actually, because it's scientifically proven, if you speak to yourself that way and you hear your name, there's something in your mind that is like telling you that you can do it more than you would if you were to just say, I can do this. I will do this. So the way, like, the things that play in my head is like, you can do this, Aiden. You're strong enough. You're fit enough. You've been through way harder things than this run just now or this event right now. So you can do it. And it's just a period of the race that you're going to feel like you feel like this. For example, remember when we were doing that sim at Jordan's gym?
Yeah.
And halfway, obviously, in the race for a high rocks, we'll take a gel. We'll take a gel on probably about the rower. And when we were doing the sim, in Jordan, there was a sim we were doing, and after the row, I started to feel my stomach a little bit once we were on that run coming out of the row. And instead of like panicking and like, oh no, what's going to happen, trying to predict the future and create anxiety and create like negative nerves, I just say to myself, it's just a gel that's in your stomach, and it just kind of simplifies it and allows you to kind of crack on and not worry about what's going to happen next and just kind of be present.
Yeah, I'm similar. Like the technique you're talking about, self coaching and saying that you are, or like even that I don't go from a point of you can do this. It's like you are doing this, so it's like more present. I always go, and always try and push on the back of that. But I'm very similar in your mind where I can have a conversation with myself, like, with the two parts of your brain. So everyone who's listening to this will know that they have two voices in their head, like a voice of reasoning and a voice of like emotion. It's just like the chimp in your brain, and then like a logic one, the other part of your brain where it's like having a conversation. But I feel like the more aware I become, the more my logical brain takes over my chimp. But the chimp is, of course, like, that's the one that drives everything, drives emotion, that's the one that's, oh, this is so hard. Like, how
Yeah.
am I going to do this? How am I going to do this? If you're getting caught in that constantly and you're not listening to that other logical brain, then that's when you end up giving up. That's when you end up
Totally.
like like chucking it pretty
Yeah.
much. So it's about knowing the voices and knowing which one is you're choosing.
Yeah, totally. It's like another thing that I do is like break it up into segments. So that I think we spoke about this before the race. A great technique is to like break it up into parts. It's proven as well that allows runners to kick on more. So say for example they see a lamppost in front of them that's probably about 200 metres away from them. They get to that point, they've set that goal, they accomplish that goal, and then that's a little hit for them, and then they set another goal. The next lamppost, the next, or and doing that for me, like for High Rocks for example, I'll always like break it up into just get through this lap, or just get through this station, or just get through this length, and that's what helps me throughout the race, so I can have those little small mental wins to carry me on to the finish.
100%. So yeah, Great Scottish Run was amazing. I managed a 11-minute PB from last year. Of course, last year was my first real running race, but like this past year, I've focused a lot on running and focused on improving, getting faster, and it's paid off. Come from 1:36 last year, 1:25 this year. I think it was like almost to the second as well. I think I was 49 last year and I was 48 this year.
Class.
So good. But yeah, again, it just like it really I reflected the day after, and it really reiterated the just like the work that you put in as well. Like it does pay off in the future, and it gave me a bit of belief as to like I used to think that 1:25 was so far out of my reach. Like I actually remember. So me and Aiden done it last year, and Aiden passed me at Pollock Park. So like, Pace Road West.
Yeah.
When you were already finished Pollock Park and I was going into Pollock Park. So I remember shouting you and you were slogging as well. You were majorly slogging. And I remember like saying to you afterwards, would you get 1:25? And I was like, Jesus Christ. I was like, that is so fast.
Yeah.
In my head. And it is fast. Like it really is fast. But like I went into that race there thinking, all right, I know I've got sub 1:30 in me. I'm going to push for about 1:27-ish, but then I just had more in the tank today on the day.
Yeah.
And that was probably down to Aiden as well. Like being able to hold on to him for that length of time, like chiming into each other. When he was finding it hard, I was pushing him. When I was finding it hard, he was pushing me.
Yeah, I think that's a massive thing as well. Even just thinking about that, like we're so used to like holding on to each other. We're so used to like whether that's a race or it's in training. We're so used to like holding each other's paces to make sure like no one's slacking off, or we're not losing time on a certain thing, or we're like we know that we're together. So being in that race for me, it was like it just felt like another day of holding on to each other. Yeah. Just felt like another day of pushing each other on, and that's that. I think that was so valuable for that race.
Yeah, 100%. Let's talk about post-event blues.
Yeah, let's talk about that shit. So something that I'll be fully transparent, something that I've struggled with massively the past 9 days. And the past 9 days since we've been back from Oslo. The week as we came back, I did really try and find my feet, but just things weren't clicking for me. My mood was low. I wasn't eating correctly. I kind of fell out of my routine, and it all just it was like the kind of snowball effect of the more and more you're not doing something, the more you're falling out of routine, the worse it gets, the worse it you feel. And I was struggling to bring myself back, and I found myself retracting back to old habits that I've worked so hard to get away from, and it showed in my mood. I brought the energy into my life, for the people around me, and reflecting back on it, it disappoints me, because that's definitely someone who I don't want to be, and it's just so hard for me. I think like after events, I'm in the infant stage of competing, in the infant stage of like this whole High Rocks journey and this whole like fitness journey, and I'm someone who's like sensitive to good times anyway. Like this is one of the reasons why I don't drink or I don't go out or do any of this like crazy stuff that a lot of young people get involved in, or a lot of people get involved in, is like because I can't deal with the feelings like going away, but I can't deal with that massive rush of like dopamine and then like needing to go home. I'm always chasing it, and something that I've learned about myself over the years, and it's something that I need to manage, something that you need to be aware of. And I look at this and I take myself back and I zoom out a wee bit and I see that this time I'm more successful than the last time, because last time that this happened, the event blues happened, it was 2-3 months that I was off it for. And I do genuinely believe that the people who are successful, the difference between the people who are successful and the people who are not, are the people that can shorten the gap between being off it and being on it. And this time it's been 9 days, and now I'm straight back into my routine and I'm feeling back to normal, and I'm feeling the exact same way I was feeling before Oslo. And this is great. And you need to be able to take the positives from that. And you need to look at it in a positive kind of mindset and positive look. Yeah, I may have done a good bit of damage in the past 9 days, and I need to get back to where I was. I definitely don't feel as fit in the sessions that I done yesterday. I don't feel as fit as I felt beforehand, but I need to remember that that's down to my doing, and I need to rectify that, and I will rectify that.
So it's also future proofing as well.
Yeah.
If you think about the last time you done 2-3 months off it, then this time around 9 days off it.
Yeah.
When you know it's likely to happen again when it comes up again. So it's just like understanding and being aware that it is going to happen, and maybe good to highlight what was it like. What was a turning point for you? Was there a particular day, like conversation that you had with yourself, or
that changed,
that like you started to feel the cogs turning again, like going from that?
I think it was when I felt like I think it was when I brought the energy into like parts of my life, and I could start to see that it was affecting people, that I was like, nah, this isn't happening again, because I don't like to bring that energy, and I'm not that type of person. But sometimes it's so hard, especially when you are kind of fighting some like demons, or you're like playing around in your head, and you've got so much in your mind, and you're chasing like good feelings, that you feel like nothing actually feels great anymore, because you're so depressed, like you've chased it so much that your dopamine levels are like way below baseline, like. And I almost felt like that day I hit that low, so I feel like that day I couldn't get lower. So we've spoke about this on the podcast before, like you always tend to find a bounce back once you've hit a certain point, like a certain low. You always find that bounce back, and that was almost it, because I seen the way it affected the people that I really care about, and it made me understand that that's not the type of person I am. And it was the whole identity piece again of like, I'm a happy person, so start acting like it, so probably that.
Cool. And that's how you got out of it?
That's how I got out of it. It's like every single time I find myself hitting the very, very bottom of the barrel, when I'm feeling like this, I do bounce back, and because it's like a realisation moment.
Aye.
Of like, I don't want to feel like this anymore.
Yeah.
And before, it took me so long to figure that out. But now that I've done so much learning about myself and learning in general, and taking information from the likes of you, Dale, Ryan, like things like that, it's allowed me to understand that I know what I need to do.
Yeah.
But these things are sometimes gonna creep up, and I need to be able to manage them better. And I know next time it happens, I'll be able to manage it way better than I have this time.
Yeah. 100%. But yeah, you're so right. I think the part of getting back to centre, you need to know yourself enough of how to do that
Yeah.
and like what works for you. Like I feel like for me in the past, with my like post event blues, mine was a lot shorter this time than it has been in the past. But I think it's because I used to do that exact thing where I would have that event or something on, like even I remember back to doing photo shoots, like bodybuilding photo shoots, and then the week 2, 3, 4 afterwards, it would just be like eating hunters and just like I remember I done the 12-week peak, first 12-week peak, can't remember 2021 maybe it was, and after it I just wasn't in the right place. I got really lean, looked great, and then me and Jenna went to Manchester like 2 days after it or something like that for 5 days. I put in 4 kilos and I went away, and it was like I remember coming back for that trip like, oh my god, like standing on the scales, looking at myself in the mirror, and I was proper judging myself. And it was the judgment part that made it worse, because then I was in a lower state for a month, longer than a month, and then that just made the bad behaviours carry on, because you feel low, because you feel like shit. And that's what I was chatting to you about last week when you were feeling that way.
Yeah.
That it's not the particular thing of the event blue, it's the how low you feel because you're judging yourself that you have the blues.
Yeah.
And
exactly.
that you've done the actions of eating too much, or like just scrolling too much, or like chasing good feelings.
This is it. Like, it's the judgment part. It is, because like that's what was pulling me like deeper and deeper and deeper into the bad cycle. Was because I was looking in the mirror. I was like, fuck, I was looking great beforehand, and now I look like I don't look the way I want to now, and I was judging myself for it, because that's something that I've done before in the past, is have that kind of mindset. But obviously, once we had that kind of conversation and I understood that that's what I was doing, the voice got quieter. When I was like maybe looking in the mirror after that, I was like, right, okay. It was starting to like the logical voice was getting louder and the judgmental voice was getting quieter, and it was just like, right, okay, we're in this position right now, but what are we going to do? How do we get back to where we want to be? And you know exactly what you need to do, and then it's just like it simplifies it. So yeah, like feeling back to normal, feeling a lot better, but definitely something that I struggled with the past, as I say, week and a half.
Love it. And being able to get out of that position is a massive skill in itself.
I think it is well. Do you know what I was probably judging myself about as well? See, because you seemed like you didn't have any of the blues, I was almost like maybe comparing myself to you as well, and I'm almost like, how can't I deal with that? And that's something that I'll tell people not to do, is like compare yourself to other people, because there's a lot of people out there that have got way more experience than you, went through like way more things than you, and that allows them to deal with situations better. And because we're doubles partners, we're best mates, it's easy to do that. It's easy to compare yourself, because you're like, I want to, like, this is my environment and I want to be like them. And it's like being able to understand that you are different, and you've got like your brain's different, your thoughts are different. So yeah, coming back to centre, and understanding that everyone is different and you deal with things differently is massive, I reckon.
100%. Let's go on to what's next for us.
Let's go.
Okay, so we went over the last road to Oslo on our last podcast. Just went over the Great Scottish Run. They were two big events for us, and we have some more locked in for this year. We've got our next one. Do you want to announce the? So we're going to go do something similar that we done to Road to Oslo. Our next race, we have 2 races in the pipeline, but one of them is going to be our main race, and that's going to run as what?
That's going to run as LDN Lock-In.
The London Lock-In. And what that's going to look like for us is it's 8 weeks. It runs at 8 weeks today as of when we record this podcast.
Yeah.
When we release the podcast, it will be just under 8 weeks away. But it's going to be a big running block. where we're focusing on getting fast in particular, whilst also just maintaining our strength. Because what we realised off the back of Oslo and what we're talking about is that we need to get faster, and that's like the real point of High Rocks that we need to lock in on.
Yeah, especially the doubles part. Like, it's a running race, and this, of course, obviously the singles as well. But the main focus for us is to get faster. Like, we look at our stations from Oslo and we're like, right, okay, they look good, but the running just needs to be better, and it needs to be so much quicker than what it is just now. So, yeah, massive focus for us both is to get that running better.
So London, High Rocks London is held in the XL Arena, which is a massive arena down in London. It's on the 5th of December.
5th.
Which is, it's 8 weeks a day, whatever
Aye.
that date that is. And it's because it's a massive arena, it's only one lap that we do, which I think it's the first time they've done
First
that.
one they've ever done a one lap
First time
course.
they've ever done a 1 lap course. So it's a 1K loop.